Hello there, and welcome to another exciting episode of Knife Chats. Kind of caught me off guard there. Well, if you like this episode, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, there's always that one. But either way, leave me a comment, share it with your friends, and if you really like the program, don't forget to ring that bell and subscribe to the channel. So a while back I was doing videos on Sodbusters, and I mentioned that I did not have a white smooth bone Sodbuster and would really like it if a company were to make one. And several people mentioned that Boker Magnum made something called the Juliet, which is sort of a Sodbuster. And actually one of my viewers actually sent me one, and this is your Boker Magnum Juliet, and you can see that there is a resemblance to your Sodbusters in the kind of the shape of the handle and such, but there's the two things that are different for it. Number one, the Boker Magnum Juliet has a clip blade, whereas Sodbusters tend to have a straight blade or a skinning blade. So there's the one difference. And then the other difference is the Juliet has a full nickel silver bolster at the top. So it's really a bearhead jack, really nice bearhead jack, and I definitely like it. And it's been my stand-in for a proper Sodbuster until a white smooth bone Sodbuster came out, and we'll be showing that in just a second. But one of the big deals that I had made when talking about a white smooth bone Sodbuster was that if Case were to come out with it, it would not have a bird's eye rivet. And by bird's eye rivet, we're talking about the large rivet at the top of the knife. Notice you got smaller brass rivets down here, but the top one is reinforced rivet through the handle. And that, to me, has always been a defining characteristic of a proper Sodbuster. You see similar things even on this Frost wood-handled one. You notice it's got a much larger rivet at the top, a bird's eye rivet. You can actually see the center pin that goes through that rivet. And that's kind of what makes it a bird's eye rivet. And you see the shape of it is definitely Sodbuster in shape. They call this one the mule skinner. You also see like farmer's knife, farmhand, all sorts of different names for it. But they almost always will have a bird's eye rivet. But when Case puts bone handles on their Sodbusters, they eliminate the bird's eye rivet, which to me is just wrong, especially if they're going to be making a Sodbuster. Now, more than one person has told me when I brought this up that, well, maybe if Case were to put that bird's eye rivet in there, it would weaken the bone around there, and it just wouldn't be as good of a joint for the knife. And well, here we have the coal miner work knife by Rough Rider, and as you notice, it has very much a bird's eye rivet at the top there, and if you can also look there. And the black bone handle, that's bone, there's no cracks or anything, and it's not a problem at all. And you've got plenty of bone around that is not cracking. Matter of fact, the most likely place for the bone to crack is down here at the pivot point on the spring. That's usually where the bone cracks. And if you notice, that's the same thing with if you were to have a Case Sodbuster and bone, well, that would probably be the weakest point too. Not around there. You've got plenty of bone around there. So you can definitely put a bird's eye rivet in a bone handle. And so what I have been doing for years is asking Rough Rider to come out with a white smooth bone knife, a white smooth bone work knife, or a white smooth bone Sodbuster, but for no avail. It never happened. However, another company recently did come out with a white smooth bone Sodbuster. Granted, it is not the full size one. It's the Sodbuster Junior, or the work knife Junior, you might want to call it. But It's a really sweet knife. And here we have it. Okay, let me make some room here and let's get started. And so the knife I'm talking about is the MR579 by Marbles. Now, for those who follow my channel a little bit, I have in the past said that these knives, that Marbles is a Smoky Mountain Knife Works house brand, and that is not correct. The knives are made by Smoky Mountain Knife Works, but the trademark is actually owned by Blue Ridge Cutlery. So they're made through Smoky Mountain Knife Works for Blue Ridge Cutlery. A little bit different, but they are made in the same factory as your Rough Rider knives are, and but they're made to the specifications of Marbles, not to the specifications of Rough Rider or any other Smoky Mountain Knife Works house brand. The quality control, I guess, meets the standards of Blue Ridge Cutlery. In any case, here's the knife. And notice it's wrapped in paper, but the blade still on this is a 448 stainless steel. And there you have the knife. And is it perfect? I would say nope, not perfect. But it's also a knife that goes for $7.99. This is an $8 knife with white smooth bone handles and a proper bird's eye rivet going on there. And you see the pins. I can feel this pin a little bit. Nice and flush here. Yeah, the bottom pin is the one I can feel. Bird's eye rivet you can feel a little bit, but it is pretty much flush with the bone. And well, you see it right there going around. And the knife has a nice full half stop going on. A nice clip. Nice closing. Now they're not all perfect, I'll tell you that right now. I've had some that are very sluggish on closing, and some that don't have a blade that is properly centered. But they can always be sent back if you got a major problem with it or if you're not happy with it. Typically, it's just a matter of flushing out the pivots and then oiling the knife better. But it's an $8 knife in white smooth bone. And it's a proper Sodbuster Junior, or proper work knife junior, I guess, because it's not made by Case. But you can see there, size-wise, it's about the same as a Sodbuster Junior. The handle shape is not exactly the same. You notice, well, let's open them up and you can see the difference in the handle shapes. Notice the difference in the handle shape. You got that flat part right here, whereas this one just continues to go upward. And but the back end is very much the proper shape. Blade is very much the proper shape. This one is worn down a bit. It's a pretty old Sodbuster, but you can see that it is the proper shape for a Sodbuster knife. Overall length of this thing, with it open, comes in at about 6 3/8 of an inch long. You got a handle that is about just over 3.5 inches, and a blade that is about 2 5/8 of an inches overall, and a cutting edge that is just just shy of 2.5 inches on the cutting edge there. So proper sizes for a Sodbuster Junior, but it's white smooth bone, and $7.99. So a great price for a terrific little knife. 448 stainless steel in the blade, full half stop. There's your lockup on it, not bad at all. And the fit and finish is not really that bad for a knife that goes for $8. And they got a few other knives in their white smooth bone too, including a Sunfish, a 4 1/4 inch or 4.5 inch Sunfish. That's probably the most expensive, for about $13, but $8 for a Sodbuster Junior. I had to grab it, and I had to grab two. These two are the ones I'm going to be keeping. Like I said, I've already given one away. I will probably pick up some more for giveaways too. and I will definitely check to make sure the ones I'm giving away open and close properly. But man, just a terrific little knife, and I'm very happy with it. And thanks, Marbles. At least we finally have a white smooth bone work knife with a proper bird's eye rivet going on. The Juliet, I will tell you right now, the Juliet is hands down a better made, better quality knife, but it's not a proper Sod Buster. But if you're looking at a knife that's much better quality, the Juliet has definitely got this one beaten hands down, but it's also cost 3 times as much as this one if you can find the Juliet. So the Juliet definitely a much better knife, but the Marbles work knife is just well, if you're looking for a white smooth bone Sodbuster, this one is the only puppy in town right now. So there you go, and it's got a proper bird's eye rivet. In any case, I'll let you go. Stick around for some slides.
Yee doggy, I told you it was going to be a fun one. Sure hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a comment and give it that big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell, and go out there and tell your friends there's another episode just around the corner. Thanks a lot for visiting. Really appreciate you being here. Talk to you again soon.